What's going on, everybody? Chuck here, and I hope that you are having a fantastic day today. I am so sorry I did not get a video uploaded last week. Between trying to sell the house with the showings and all that kind of stuff, I just did not have the time to film. If I needed to do something in the lawn, it was going to be a really sort of get it done and move on to something else because it was nuts. But good news is we do have a contract on the house, and we have a contract on our new house. So be on the lookout for that in the coming weeks, more than likely. Now, it has been a little while since I've actually applied any heavy doses of fertilizer to the lawn, because typically you don't want to do that during the summer and risk stressing out your turf. But I have a product in the garage that I've had here for a few months, and I want to go ahead and try it out. You know, I did the Turfmen seeding, and I'll do an update here on a second and show you what that looks like. But it's ready for another dose of some fertilizer, so I want to go ahead and throw out this new fertilizer. I'm going to give you a second to guess what it is. I'm going to be applying some purely organic lawn food. It is a 10-02 analysis. I got it online at Home Depot. My local Home Depot did not sell it in the store, so I had to buy it online. There's a couple reasons why I initially bought this product. As you all know, if you haven't watched it, I've done a whole video on it. I love Milorganite. And Milorganite's kind of gotten a bad rap over the last couple years, in the last season or two, really, because people apply it at such a heavy rate that they started overusing it. So the amount of the availability of the product went down, and then people's phosphorus levels got all out of whack and too high because they're applying so much so often during the year. So I went with 10-02. I went with purely organic lawn food as a supplement to Milorganite. Obviously, it has more nitrogen at 10% nitrogen. It has no phosphorus and 2% potassium. So it kind of is almost the reverse of Milorganite, but not quite. Because of that 10-02, you're not getting any phosphorus. So if you do, you can alternate between this and Milorganite, and you're going to get a little bit more balance in it. But that is completely up to you if you want that kind of balance. So I'm going to use it because it doesn't have any phosphorus. I've been applying Milorganite this year, so now I'm going to switch over to purely organic, probably for the remainder of the season. I probably only have 1 or 2 feedings left on this lawn before I move over to the next one. But I have 2 bags of this. I'm going to go ahead and put them down, and let's see what happens. Each bag is 25 pounds, and the bag says it covers 5,000 square feet. For this application, it still is summer, so I don't want to go too heavy on it, but I do want to put a little bit more in than I have been doing. So I want to go with half a pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. And so because it's a 10-02 analysis, that is easy math. So for 1,000 square feet, I'm going to apply 5 pounds of product, and that'll give me that 0.5 or half a pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. I have the Earthway spreader there, and it says it's a number 17 on the Earthway. So we'll go ahead and do that, see if I get even coverage, see what the prill size looks like, and all that kind of good stuff. So let's go ahead and bust this bag open. So let's see what this looks like here in the bag. Don't know how well you can see that. It kind of looks like, am I thinking of like toasted nuts that you would get sort of like a praline topping on ice cream, or maybe some sort of like toasted breadcrumbs. It smells sweet. It smells very sweet. It is not like Milorganite, which smells like success. This has a very sweet smell. The prill size is sort of all over the place. It's very crumbly, like a plant-based product would be. It's very crumbly, different prill sizes, so it's not very consistent. Let's go ahead. I have my bucket here. It's an organic product, so you can apply as much as you want, really. But just for the sake of doing it properly, I have my weight here, my scale, and I'm gonna put 5 pounds in the hopper and get to applying. So my initial reaction, real quick, I mean, I've only done not even that much. It's definitely different than Milorganite in the sense where I can see it dissolving easier than Milorganite. So I don't know if it's fast release or slow release. That part I don't know. But because it's much lighter, it's a much lighter product. It's a plant-based product. I think it will dissolve in water a lot easier than Milorganite does. And that's just by me looking at it flying, you know, feeling it with my hand and looking at it. It just looks like it's gonna dissolve a lot quicker than Milo. So let me show you the turf mend. So this is the old formula, or the original formula with the Barenbrug. You can see, got some germination. This is 6 days. I'll tell you a story here in a second. This is 6 days post putting it down. So it would be better if I could just seem to keep the seed wet, if I wasn't running around crazier than I thought I would be. This is the GCI turf version of it. You know, got some germination here. Same thing, you can see how hard it is. I'm not keeping it wet enough. This definitely needs some water here in a minute after I apply more lawn food. So I mentioned there's a story, and the story is this. When I did my last video where I applied the turf mend, I did really good the first couple days. Kept it nice and wet. It was awesome. And then with selling the house, we had a lot of showings last week. Right after I applied the turf mend, and so, you know, because I'm trying to sell, I can't have hoses running around, and I can't keep the water wet because, I mean, I'd be away from the house for, you know, 8 hours during the day because we'd have several showings in a day. So we just stayed at my in-laws' house, so I couldn't keep the seed wet. So once we got a contract on the house, I went ahead and applied more turf mend, and I've been able to keep it more wet. Other than today, it's dry, as you can see, but nonetheless, it's doing much better once you keep the seed wet. If there's one thing you could ever do if you want good germination, you have to keep the seed wet. Not drenched, not drowning, just wet. So, what is my overall verdict on purely organic lawn food? You're gonna have to tune into next week to find out. You know, just because of timing, I don't have time to do like results at the end of this particular video, but tune in next week and I'll give results on it. What does it do to the color? How much growth did it push? We are still in the summer, obviously, so we're in the mid to upper 80s, low 90s sometimes, still relatively high humidity, so you really don't want to be pushing a whole lot of growth during the summer, but I'm gonna go ahead and try it because, you know, you can't burn the lawn with this. It's an organic product, similar to Milorganite, although that's not technically more organic. The one thing I did notice though is that while I was spreading, I put it in the hopper, everything was fine, but after a couple passes and the vibrations of the hopper, and this being a more delicate prill, it appears, that it started to like ground down into a powder in some spots. So as you're spreading it, sort of like a plume of powder of product instead of like the prills. Now that's not to say it completely broke down, you're just spraying powder all over the lawn like a lime or something like that, but it did start to break down in the hopper as I was spreading, which it's good for the watering. I think that means it's not a slow release. I think it's pretty, I mean, it still may be slow release, but it breaks down or dissolves in water a whole lot better and quicker than Milorganite will. So yeah, and it does leave a nicer, more sweet odor on your lawn than Milorganite does, but that's not necessarily a good or a bad thing because I like the smell of Milorganite. So anyway, tune in next week to get an update on what this purely organic lawn food did to my lawn. So anyway, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, comment below. Have you used this product before? What's your opinions on it? Or if you haven't used it, why not? Anyway, I will see you all in the next video. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and God bless. That's the smush spot.